Motivation. I'm motivated. But what do you do when motivation is not enough? You rely on your work ethic. You rely on your discipline. That's my mentality. Now let's get it.
The stage, please welcome Julian Peters.
What's going on, everybody? It's Julian back again with my Mentality Podcast. For those listening, welcome back to my voice. For those watching, say hello to my beautiful face. Today, I got a returning guest, my boy Javion Seymore, men's physique competitor. As y'all can see, he wore a shirt to show the arms today. They bulging out like crazy. And this is going to be part two. And basically, we're just going to recap his experience, prep for the first pro show that he had. So how's it going, man?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me back again.
Always.
As far as the whole prep experience, probably the smoothest prep I've ever done, smoothest and shortest, because it was only a 9-week prep. Started the prep at around maybe 218 pounds, finished at around 202, 203 on stage. By far the biggest, honestly, probably my best package. I was, holding a whole lot more muscle. I was just as conditioned as before, if not more. I honestly liked my look. It's one of those preps where, you feel like you did everything you could, and you can honestly look back at everything you've done leading to that point and have no regrets, I will say something, though. That last final week on peak week or whatever, I was hype. I was ready, just to make some changes or whatever. So a lot of people, when it comes to peak week, they tend to die down a little bit, you know what I mean? But me, I don't know what it was. I was just highly motivated, and I just wasn't nowhere near as tired or fatigued,
Yeah, that I mean, in my experience, my peak weeks were terrible. So yeah, and a lot of people, like you said, that might be a mentality thing too, though, because a lot of people, you get the peak week, I'm almost done. Not like, you know what I mean? Instead of, bro, this is what I've been working for. Like, we here, which could probably help your energy in that aspect.
Right. I think it was definitely more of a mentality thing, because, Omar was, nice enough to hit me up all throughout the week. He would say, hey, how you feeling? You all right? You doing good? Because, I see your check-ins or whatever. You're starting to look crazy. I'm like, no, man, I'm good. I'm having like the best workout still. My strength is still up. I'm having a good time,
Yeah.
But like you said, it could have just been a mentality thing.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. I have to think about that next time. So what'd you end up placing?
11th out of 24th.
11 out of 24. Okay. And how did you feel about the placement?
Well, I mean, any real competitor in this isn't going to be happy with that, obviously, you know what I mean? But, when I first started competing, I always told myself I would never complain about like where the judges put me, or, the judges had it all wrong and stuff like that. I mean, they put you where they put you for a reason.
Right.
And, as an athlete or competitor, all you can do is just get better with what you have.
Right.
So go ahead.
I was telling somebody, so shout out to Rachel Spanos. That's one of our teammates. She got her pro card this past weekend. We were talking. She has competed, I believe she said, in 22 shows.
22?
8 national with 22 shows, 11 national, 8 of them top 5 placings before she got her card.
22? You mind if I ask how old she is?
I don't know her age, but I can say she looks young as heck. Her and her, I met her and her husband. Both of them look like they my age, 30s, maybe like that.
Right.
And it was crazy because she was with another young lady who came to eat with all of us. Her name was Angela. Right. She had only done 4 shows and got her pro card figure. So you had the like person who had won everything, and then you got the person who had like grinded to get there. And it was crazy because I'm like, and this goes kind of feeds in what you're saying, but you're at the top of the totem pole and then immediately back to the bottom in the span of a show where you get your pro card and then
you
go
got
to
to
the next
start all
level.
over.
And you're starting all over. So
Yeah.
even with that 11th, it's still a really good spot. Some people, you know, dead last, and they might not ever compete again.
Right, right. I mean, it's, you know, it's like I said, at the end of the day, I feel like I did everything I could to bring the best I had, you know, so I have no regrets by any means. Now, obviously, like I said, the placing is the placing. Am I happy with it? Compared to me, no.
Right.
I mean, it just is what it is, you know.
Right.
I will say one thing though, because there was a brief moment where, you know, after, you know, you realize you're in the second call out, so whatever, you may be standing on stage on the sideline still. And, you know, in the back of your head, you're like, you know, excuse my language, but damn, I feel upset now. Like, you know, I didn't reach nowhere near the expectations I wanted to have for myself. But, you know, you look around and you realize that when you were coming up, you were looking up to certain athletes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're looking around on stage and you're like, I'm actually standing on stage with these guys now. You know, so it's a little bit of a blessing in disguise at the same time. And, you know, you think to yourself, you know, here I am, I'm at this age where the people I was looking up to, I'm sharing the same stage with these guys, you know?
Yep.
And you get that really surreal feeling. And then you realize, you know, it's only up from here.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a Kendrick Lamar song where he says, I don't believe in losses, I take life in that.
Right.
And like ever since he said that, that's been my thought process for everything. Like if you can figure out any type of growth in any situation negatively that affects you, you really haven't lost. And that's a great way to look at it. So like even like you said, you're standing on stage with dudes that you looked up to, not just doing that, but it's like, I'm not that far away either. You know what I mean? Like I'm right there with them. It makes you work and realize like I'm here and I can be even better. So yeah, I can respect that, bro, for real.
Right. But it's like I can honestly say I just have no regrets. But now, I mean, you know, you probably saw on my Instagram when I finally was able to get the stage shots because it was like 2 or 3 weeks after. When I was finally able to get the stage shots and I posted them, you know, I pretty much said done and what's next. And that's pretty much just my mentality ever since.
Did you get feedback yet?
Actually, yes, I already had feedback right after prejudging, because I will say that was kind of like a cool experience, because what I realized is, you know, when it comes to men's physique, and, you know, some of the guys, like I said, that I look up to, they came up to me and they gave me some advice or whatever. The competition is so deep that most of these guys do a pro show every other 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just consistent. They're like in different states every other 2 weeks and stuff. And the reason why I got feedback so fast is because a lot of these judges are familiar with these guys. So they don't have to email them or send them photos or text them or anything like that. The judges got up and were walking backstage right after prejudging to personally come up and tell you what your feedback was.
Oh, that's dope.
Or, you know, they were standing off to the side, you know, before you walked out and you did your routine. And, you know, some of them would like give you feedback or give you a comment or something like that. So the head judge was, golly, I forgot his name already. I just drew a blank. I think his name was Jack, something like that. But anyway, he came backstage and first he was giving like some of their guys their critiques or whatever. He came up to me and he was like, "This is your pro debut, huh? I've never seen you before." I was like, "Yeah, you know, they said that when I walked out." And exactly. And, you know, he was like, "How old are you?" I was like, "I'm 23. He was like, "Oh, okay. The only thing I can tell you is that I want to see you harder in your midsection." He was like, He was like, "I want to see you harder." My mom's right here.
Oh, hi, Mom.
Hi.
Yeah, she was there too. She'll probably chime in sometime in here.
That's fine.
But yeah. So the head judge was basically saying, you know, I want to see you harder in the midsection, crispier in the midsection. Your overall conditioning is good, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, because of the fact that you're young, you don't have the most maturity that these other guys have.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, if anything, you're probably the youngest guy on the stage today.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't occur to me that he was right or whatever, because I'm looking around, I'm like, yeah, you know, these are some grown behind men.
Right.
You know, and that was, I mean, but that was basically it. He was like, your overall conditioning was excellent, but I just need to see you like crispier or harder in the midsection.
Right.
And that was it.
Right.
Now, looking back at it for my own personal critique, I feel like this is just me personally saying this. I feel like one, I could have posed a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Was he right about being harder in the midsection? Yes, but I mean, it's a critique or whatever. Of course, you know, you're going to feel like you did everything you could, right?
Right.
But if that's what, you know, they want to see, then I got to work towards that. But as far as like my own personal critique, I feel like I definitely could have posed better, especially during comparisons. Because when I looked at the comparison photos, I was standing a little bit, maybe too far more to the side, like trying to show off my, you know, my small waist.
Right.
By me doing that, I kind of made my upper body look narrow.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was taken away from my upper body size. And so that's why I feel like I could have did a little bit better. If I had posed a little bit better, I might have moved up a couple places. I don't know.
No,
me.
So, and I hope you don't, I mean, it happened. I hope you don't mind. One of my teammates this past weekend at the USA's posed his way out of a pro card. What's crazy, the guy that you posted that won his,
it
was that class. And that's
the
guy.
What guy?
The tall guy. You said you big
James.
James. Okay.
Yeah.
He replaced our dude and moved him a spot. And I promise you, it happened just like this. They get out the first call out. It's the guy with the locks that's in the middle. And he was kind of above everybody, in my opinion. And then our guy was to the right of him. And the other guy was I think he was basically in the fourth spot, because it's 1, 2, 3 is what we saw.
Right.
So they get him to post and they go turn around to the back. Our dude could not open up. He was not opening up his back. He was pinching.
Were they bunched in together?
They were bunched in together, and basically what he said, he was heated. Which, I mean, he's done. I think he's placed top 4 twice this year already, and got a top 5.
Man.
So
he's there.
He's right there. And when we got to talk to him, he said that when he first went to put his back, the dude beside him on the other side did one of these and like knocked his hands down. And he said once he did it, he could never get it back up. He don't know why. He just got like stuck. And I kid you not, he turned around. They did that. They turned him back around, moved that guy to his spot and pushed him. Like, and I'm like, he just posed his way out of that. And
go ahead.
And our coach is like, my coach and his coach were sitting there. We're just like, open up, like we're screaming. But at that point, it's too late. Like you've already, moved. And he posed himself out of that spot.
Yeah, see, at that moment, the judges may not like it, depending on who you stand in front of. But at that moment, me and Matt did the same thing in Universe, where we were bumping elbows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like I said, the judges may not like it when they do this, but you got to take control and step back maybe a couple inches, then open up your back. But the crazy part is, though, the funny part was when me and Matt did it or whatever, Matt was just as smart or whatever, because I was backing up, he's backing up with me. And then, that's when the judges start yelling, knock it off or whatever,
I told the dude that. I'm like, I'll make, I think Steve Weinberger was the head judge. I'll make Steve put us back in line. If y'all going to be doing all that bumping, cool. I'm going to keep moving forward until Steve say, all right, guys, let's get back and spread out a little bit. Like, it's not going to hurt you. Why not do that?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I guess at that moment, I can honestly say everything is a rush. Mm-hmm. So you might know what to do, but when you get up there and the judges are calling out poses and stuff, sometimes it's just you might not even think about it.
The only reason I know is because it happened to me at a local show.
Right.
And like it happened to me at a local show where like at that time I was a little bit heated. So like I'm backstage, like, bro, let's fight. Like I'm ready to fight, dude. Cause I mean, it wasn't like he literally is like bumping
elbowing you.
And I like I stopped and I just looked at him like, what are you doing? And then that's when somebody at the time was like, or he's an IFBB pro from Oklahoma, but men's physique guy. He was like, just move up. Like, don't do all, like, move up.
Right.
Like, oh man, that's smart. But yeah, bro, it's crazy. Posing can place you up or down.
Yeah.
What do you think you want to change about your pose?
If anything, stay more like,
I don't like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't like that you twist.
I didn't twist, like I didn't mean to at the time or whatever. Now I know when I twist, I gotta like be more facing more forward.
Keep the shoulders forward. Yeah.
Exactly. Or whatever. And that's what I didn't do in comparisons. I did it when I was by myself.
Right.
But in comparisons, it was just like,
because I feel like your waist is so small anyway. Yeah. Like it, and I feel like a lot of dudes do this. You'll have a small waist, but you're trying to make it so small, you're giving up width. And
yeah,
it's like
you're giving up that.
Yeah, like that's what they look at. It's the X. So like if your waist is tiny, but your shoulders look like this, they're gonna be like
you ain't looking at nothing.
No, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So but that's good that you figured that out though.
Right. Like I said, because and the only reason why I figured that out was because I obviously look at yourself individually. I'm looking at myself individually. I'm more forward, right? And a friend of mine goes, he was like, Javion, did you look at the comparison photos? I was like, I didn't think too much about it. So I went back and I looked, sitting up, staying to the side or whatever.
Right.
So I was just like, okay, so now I know where I probably messed up at.
Right. Mm-hmm. What'd you eat after?
Dude, at that moment, see, I'm the type of person where after a show, I eat really good and well, right?
Right.
I binge eat with the cookies and stuff. When I don't place well, I get like this mental block that like keeps me from like doing that.
Right.
Did I go out and eat? Yes, but I went out with some friends and the most I ate was steamed chicken, shrimp. It was a Japanese place.
Oh, okay.
Some vegetables, and I think the most I had was 2 sushi rolls and maybe half of my cookie dealer cookie, and that was it.
Right.
As soon as I came back home, I mean, I was a little bit upset. I'm not even gonna lie to you. As soon as I came back home, went straight to the gym, trained, still did cardio or whatever, and pretty much stayed on my diet throughout the whole week.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, to be honest with you, I really just now started eating real food. Me and my mom went out for brunch yesterday where, I had my pancakes, my egg omelet, some toast. Now I'm starting to act like a human being again.
Right. So what's the plan moving forward? Like, are we done for the year, or are you thinking about hitting something late, trying to get that old qualification for next year?
Crazy part is, and this is where the advice came in, where when I'm backstage with all the other athletes, right? One dude that I look up to, his name is, you probably don't know him, but his name is Mehdi.
What?
His name is Mehdi.
Mm-mm.
And well, he's one of, I think he actually coaches himself, I think. But anyway.
Whoa, Mehdi. Is he like Middle Eastern?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm a big fan of his physique. And he was at Norfolk competing. He got placed in the top 5.
Yeah.
And, he knew who I was because Omar kept, hyping me up, posting me and stuff like that. So when he saw me, he came up to me. He was like, dude, you have like an actual, pretty physique or whatever. And, he gave me some advice and he was saying, where did you place? And I told him I was in the second call outs, looking at the time, I was thinking I was like 9th or 10th, but I was actually 11th. He was like, well, what do you got planned after? I was like, I didn't think I would get this far. And so, he tells me, he was like, I'm going to be honest with you. He was like, the worst mistake you can make as a rookie is when you do one show a year. Mm-hmm. Or for your rookie season, you only do one show.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, because, he was comparing me to him. When he first started, he did the same exact thing. And he really didn't start placing well until he started doing shows consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he was like, what do you want to go out and eat after? I told him, I honestly don't even know. or whatever. Like, I didn't think about all this. He was like, now's the time where you have to start thinking, one, you got to start doing more shows so these judges can be more familiar with you, because at the end of the day, you're not going to be in front of the same judges every show anyway. And then two, a lot of people make a lot of rookie mistakes where they go out and they binge eat, and now they're trying to go into another show that same exact week, right?
Right.
He was like, why not, try and keep it relatively clean and then try and go and do another one. And, like I said, he's saying all this, but at that time, I was like, dude, I thought I was going to be, one and done, make a statement for myself and then shut it down depending on like where I place. Do I want to compete again this year? Yes. Are there any more shows left for the rest of this year to qualify for the Olympia next year? I mean, yeah, but not as many, you know what I mean? Because you're starting to approach the end of the year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, me and my coach really didn't talk about it that much far in depth, especially with me being a natural athlete. He was basically just giving me my options, but I haven't really made a definite plan.
Right. So, yeah, man, I mean, he's right, I would think. Again, I'm not a pro, but I think what happens is a lot of us who aspire to be pros don't look at the fantasies that are turned realities as fantasy turned realities. Like, there's only so many Chirons. There's only so many Akeems that do one show, get the pro card, and then go and they qualify Olympia next. That's not a everyday occurrence. Got some, like, even Dre and Ray are prime examples. Like, I think people forget they really had to fight it out in the circuit before they became these guys that are like on top of the sport. Brandon too, bro. I remember specifically because I was a fan of Brandon due to the fact that he was bigger, and I'm like, okay, I can like look at him and maybe I'll be similar to that because I'm not like the most skinny. You know what I mean? Like, I got muscle. I'm looking at Brandon, and he did a show before he qualified for Olympia in 2016, and he got like 10th, and he was pissed. And I remember him writing a status and like being upset, And then like 2 weeks later, I think he went to the Colorado Pro, won that, and qualified for the O. And so like you know what I mean? Like these dudes was not just these cakewalk that y'all think. Like, Brandon was at the bottom before he got his O. Dre,
and that was basically the message, he was telling me. He was like, it takes time for you to be an overnight success or whatever. Right. And not that I was thinking, hey, I'm gonna go into this and qualify for the Olympia.
No. Yeah.
If you remember from the last podcast we did, I was like, if I place in the top 5, I'm ecstatic about that.
I was getting ready to say, the only thing I ever heard, even in text, the only thing you said was, I just want top 5. Like, I'm trying to get top 5.
Exactly. And so he was like, it takes time. He's like, I restart within the first call out till I started doing this more. Did you hear me?
Yeah, it cut out a little bit.
Yeah, he was like, I really did. Yeah. He was like, I really didn't start placing, within the first call out until I started doing this more. And, they start rewarding you because they see you making the constant progress or whatever. He was like, when you just come out there and they don't even know you, they don't know, necessarily what to put you half the time. And I agree. And like I said, part of the main reason why I would like to do another one is because you can probably say the same thing as a competitor or whatever, but I'm pretty sure everybody can say I'm not like you feel like you're not a second call out physique. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, but we got a plan on that one. We got a plan for that one.
Well, I think that's part of the professional aspect. Yeah. Like, it's really a plan. Like, you really got to look at these shows and plan on, I can win my old qualification. And then if I shut it down to the cool, but you also got to plan like, I might have to run the circuit. I might have to hit 4 or 5 this year, get some points, or be in front of somebody. Like, you look at the what's the cat's name? McSpadden, Clarence.
Yeah.
Like, he ran the gauntlet and then won a show to get his own qualification. But before that, he was at almost every show every week, I felt like.
I don't know how they be doing that too,
bro. Yeah, but that's my coach has told some of us the same thing. He's like, you go to a national show, you get top 5 at the beginning of the year. Like, why stop? You're top 5. Judges know who you are. Keep going. He was like, and if you look at it, you're preparing yourself for what it's probably going to be like in the pros if you had those aspirations as well. Like, you got to just be out there. So that's good advice, man.
Right. So, I mean, I tell you what, if you were in my spot right now, what would you do?
So you're still in really good shape. I would obviously reach out to Omar and see what he thinks. I do not think it hurts you to do another show. I think that it makes you better. So this is what I'm looking at. Like, if I'm looking at it myself, it's not going to hurt me to do another show. Clearly, cravings and food is not an issue.
Right.
I was able to stick to my diet.
Not this time. It wasn't. Not this time.
Right. So clearly, it's not an issue this time. You're still focused. I know you went and got back in the gym and started getting back on the weights. Why not? That's how I would look at it. If I can afford to get there, why not? Like, it doesn't make anything worse. And you can still do another show or two and still have time to build if you need to for next year before you have to hit something as well. So that's how I would look at it. I would talk to coach, but be like, if you're okay with this, I wouldn't mind stepping on stage again. And I mean, the experience makes you better too, man. It ain't just the placing, it's getting around those guys. It's continuing to build confidence that I can stand with these guys. It's continuing to learn that I don't need to twist on stage when I'm in comparisons, like making yourself better and just making that a repetition thing. I think it benefits you at the end of the day.
All right. Okay. I was just curious to hear your thoughts, to be honest with you.
Yeah, my goal, obviously, first I got to get to the step. But if I turn pro, like, I'm not win. Correct. Facts. When I turn pro, I have no doubt that I want to hit 4 or 5 shows a year. And even if I get like my O qualification, I'm not like these other cats. Like, that's money.
Yeah.
If I can get an O qualification to win a show and it's another show 2 weeks from now, that's more money. Like, yeah, I'll keep competing as long as it don't hurt my physique. Some dudes get better every show they do.
Right. You're right about that.
Yeah. And you are a professional athlete at the end of the day. Like, I don't care everybody says you're a pro. So sometimes you gotta, be a pro. There's top tier level pros. You got LeBrons and KDs, and then you got some guys that are trying to work up to that spot. Those dudes might have to play more minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They might have to do some things that LeBron and them don't have to do. They might have to practice longer.
Right.
Than LeBron and them take off leave. But it's just part of it till you get there. So, yeah, man, I would do it if you can.
Yeah, I appreciate the words and advice, Definitely take that into consideration. Now I just got to find a show.
Yeah, I was about to say, just find, if anything, the distance would probably be my thing. Like, if I can find something close, cool. I'm not flying to damn Alaska.
No.
You know what I mean? No. Like, I'm not going to, unless it's like a fireplace. Then you say it's a pro show in Miami. I might have to get out there and have some fun. But yeah, so what's the approach now with lifting? Like, did you just get right back into heavy, or you got to ease into it? How'd you go about that?
Went back into it heavy, man. I mean, a lot of people, everyone wants to ask, how does your training differ from when you're in prep versus when you're in off season? I changed nothing.
Mm-hmm.
There's literally no point. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
There's no point in changing anything. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, me coming off of a prep, am I going to go back into, maxing out, doing crazy stuff? No.
Right.
But I mean, my strength is coming back a whole lot more faster than I thought it would be. So, why would I not go back to touching the heavyweights,
Yeah, I can't not lift heavy. I've tried. Even my volume days now are still relatively heavy. Like, if you heavyweight, more reps, that's how I look at it. If I can take control and in good form, I keep going. And I told you about what I'm doing now split wise to even ensure that continues. So yeah, I agree, man. And I don't know about you. I don't lose that much strength in a prep. Now that could be because I'm not natty like you, Wakandan God, but that could be the case. But I don't lose a whole bunch of strength.
Yeah. I mean, here and recently, these last 2 preps that I've done, I haven't lost much strength at all. I think actually this last one, my strength did kind of actually go up a little bit. Nothing crazy, but maybe like 5 or 10 pounds.
Right.
But and I think that was because, you know, when I was coming up, I'm not going to lie to you, I was that guy that believed in, high reps burns fat faster. You know, that was me. And then I realized, you know, it wasn't benefiting anything for me. I'm talking about like peak week. I couldn't even lift the 70-pound dumbbells off the dumbbell rack without, you know, oh crap. Yeah. You know what I mean? But, you know, I've realized when I keep my lifts heavy, you know, obviously I'm not going to go for no 20 rep crap or whatever, but I just keep my strength a whole lot better and I can actually build upon that, you know?
Yeah.
And then you really start to realize, you know, you're starting to train smart, because if you still want to go heavy, you still got to have proper rest time in between each sets. You know, you got to take your time instead of rushing back into it just because you're trying to burn fat faster, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, well, yeah.
I can truly say, bro, like, I talk bounce ideas a lot off Micah. He's like the guy we talk a lot about it. But I was training so wrong for so long. Like it was either the high reps, which isn't wrong, but it wasn't efficient for my body. And I think that's what people need to realize too. And I also, like I've talked about, it's a mental aspect to it. So like I really enjoy lifting heavy. Like I call it pissing on the equipment. Like I'm dominating these areas. Like when you see me, I'm the gorilla in the jungle. Like this is mine. Ain't nobody touch it. That's how I lift, and it makes me lift better. So if you were to tell me, and this works, but I don't do well with it, do a 3-second eccentric or go and do 15, I'm not giving as much effort because I don't like what I'm doing. Yeah. And like I think that's a part of bodybuilding that people need to like start realizing. Like I don't like HIIT cardio. So if you put me on that, I'm not going to give you the 120% effort. I'm just being honest.
That you're asking for.
That you're asking for. I don't like it. Like, and I think it's the same thing of like any other sport. Like you see guys at practice. I was a point guard in basketball. Suicide, sprints. Okay. Julian, point guards lead from the front. I'm not. Nobody can guard me out here. Yeah. I'm not leading from the front though, coach. Like that's not me. And he would get mad, but I'm just telling the truth. Like I'm not being an a-hole. I'm just saying, like, yeah. I'm not the fastest, and I'm not fit to blow a hamstring or something for it. You know what I mean? So
And see, I mean, you were right when you kind of hit the nail when you said the way you train wasn't fitting for your body. When I was training that high volume, high rep stuff, I was not recovering nowhere near as good as I was now. I mean, we talked about like how the different splits and stuff like that. I was running the bro split for years on end, just doing high volume, lightweight stuff. Wasn't recovering nowhere near as fast. But then, you know, I switched my split up to where it's pull, push, legs, right? The first 3 days, I'm going very heavy. The other 3 days, I may cut the weight maybe by like 10 pounds, but it's still relatively heavy, you know? And each week I still try to progress, but I had a whole lot much better rest period. You know, I could recover, you know, and I was having fun with my workouts. You know? You know, I will say one thing that was very nerve-wracking. I think I was maybe actually approaching peak week. One thing I've never done, I was able to get 405 on the squat for like 15 reps.
Oh Lord.
And that actually kind of shocked myself, because I was like, am I supposed to be doing this? You know?
Right.
Because like you do that kind of stuff or whatever, and you start, you know, questioning yourself, like, am I really in shape? Because I've never done this before, you know? So, but then I realized my recovery is just that much better, you know? I'm not training. I would only do like 4 exercises for each body part, bro. Before, I was doing like a good 10.
Yep.
You know, so it was literally that much of a big gap.
Yeah, and again, that's where Micah, like when I started talking to him a couple years back, he was like, "What the heck are you doing?" Because I'm on chest, but I'll never forget. I'm not gonna mention the kid's name. He's a good guy, but I literally left the workout last year, like in the middle of the workout. Like, bro, you tripping? So we started lifting. We did incline dumbbell bench. I'm on there. We're doing eccentrics. I don't like those anyway. So I bet. Then he was like, "We're gonna raise it up another notch. We're gonna do another set of 3." And then we're gonna raise it up another notch after that and do another.
I know what you're talking about. I know what y'all did. Yeah.
I said, bro, I'm done. Like, I'm not. I've hit my chest. Like, I don't like. What is this gonna do for me? It's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, bro, props to you. You are a beast, you know, for being able to do it. But I'm like, I don't see any benefit in doing this at all. So yeah, no, thank you. Oh, did we freeze? Give us 1 second, y'all. Looks like I got some connection issues. Hold on.
You good?
All right, so we're back. Sorry, technical difficulties, internet connection bad. But I was talking about my training. So basically, my split now. Saturday, I hit chest heavy. Took off Sunday. Monday, which is today, I'm hitting back heavy. Off Tuesday, hitting legs, and then right back into chest, repeating the same cycle. And then like I think you asked, how am I approaching my lifts? Right. So like I said, I have session A and session B. A, my chest will be bench, Smith incline, a pec deck, like a cable crossover. Keep it simple. My second chest day or chest B, and I have this all programmed in my phone to kind of remind me because I'll forget, is more incline movement. So it'll be heavy incline bench. I'll do a chest press machine. Then I'll throw like another either dumbbell incline or something in there. And then like an incline fly or I like the T-bar. I know what you call them when you press them up. I like those too, just to hit same thing for back. The only thing I don't do that to is legs because I don't care about I
understand.
Yeah, I lift them heavy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna lie and act like I like leg day. I don't. I hate it. I think it's stupid. So that's you. But what's your approach?
Pretty much the same as you, except with me, I try to find some exercises that I really feel like benefit me most or that I enjoy the most or whatever. Because if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to want to do it on a consistent basis, right?
Right.
So for me, I told you the first 3 days, pull, push, legs. Those are the days I'm going very heavy. Now, as far as the exercises, I usually pick the first 2 exercises and keep them the same all throughout the amount of weeks I'm doing it, right? Just so I can like track the progression, etc. I keep the first 2 exercises the same. Anything after that, I treat them more like accessory, more volume, etc.
Right.
You know. So let's say for chest, I like using incline barbell as my first, and then or not incline barbell, dumbbell incline, and then I'll go and I'll do Smith incline. I keep those 2 the exact same throughout the whole prep or whatever. I try to progress with them, whether it's in reps or weight. For back, I mean, you probably see on Instagram, I love doing one arm barbell rows.
Yeah.
Those hit like the lower lats perfect or whatever. And rack pull, you know. I will say though, for back, pretty much for both days when I'm training back, it's just more 80% rows or whatever.
Right.
So legs, I always start off legs with hamstring curls and I go straight into squat. And keep those 2 exercises the same. Anything after those first 2 movements, those are just going to be accessory. I'll do whatever with them, you know, because I'm the type of guy where I don't like neglecting, you know, exercises or whatever, you know what I mean? You know, I try to be very open with everything, you know, and then you really start to realize that you may like more exercises than you think, you know?
Right.
Like with me, when I first started, when it came to legs or whatever, the first 2 movements, like I said, are hamstring curl, and squat. A lot of people you don't see a lot of people do Bulgarian split squat anymore. But those ended up becoming my favorite leg exercise, you know? So, but that just came from me, you know, playing around with certain movements and cycling stuff out, you know?
I think
But yeah,
I think it's like it's interesting because you're so prone to think you have to do more to
yeah,
get the result. So it's like I
right,
need to go in here and do 8, 9 exercises
right.
and really like not realizing I really like I should be done after 4. If you're really working the way you are.
Yeah,
So even with legs, like you said, if you go into a hamstring curl, you hit squats the way you're supposed to. You got what leg extensions and maybe some RDLs or like you
and you
said, some
done.
split squat, and it's over. There ain't nothing
Yeah,
else. Like,
yeah.
and that's kind of how I've been approaching it. I don't do free weight squats anymore.
You don't?
Nope. I used
Oh,
to,
come on.
but I used to. My knees are not good. That's from all the years of playing ball. So my knees are not good. I
Yeah.
dislocated a hip before squatting.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So that's not the funnest thing. And I just like Smith better. I just feel more comfortable to me. I've
That's
thought
what I'm
about
saying.
getting back under the bar just because I get tired of people running their mouth. Um, so we'll see. We'll see how if I can start. Now I will say this. Once I start losing weight from my joints, it'll probably get easier. I'm just
Yeah.
too big right now for a lot of that. Like, so if I lose weight and get down in my joint, when I lose weight and get down and my joints are better, I'll probably go back to heavy squats. Cause I mean, I made it a goal one year. I'm like, I'm gonna get, my squats over 500. And I ended up hitting, I think I got the 540
See?
for a couple reps.
Yeah.
But I was done. I'm like, okay, I did that. I'm done. Back to the Smith machine. Like
Yeah.
that was just my thought. But it was like, I want to prove to y'all I could do this, and then I'm gonna be done with it. So,
Yeah.
but I know it's a necessity for physique, so I don't just neglect them. I just know
Yeah.
you're not gonna get the same chest effort. I promise you that.
Yeah. I feel you. Hey, trust me, you ain't gonna hear nothing from me because it's the point is if you just training legs, you ain't gonna hear nothing from me because I know some guys don't train legs for 90 days, bro.
Yeah, I've seen that, like in a prep too.
Exactly.
And I've been like, how does that work? Like, yeah. I remember my coach let me do that like 2 weeks out. He was like, you ain't got to trade legs no more 2 weeks out. I'm like, bet. Cool. Cool. so we're looking at, we don't know what we're gonna do later as far as shows, but you're staying in shape, steady growing, steady working. What is the, what's your biggest goal for next year? Let's say that. What's that big goal that you try to hit next year?
Like anybody else, be better than my last. Just be better than my last, whether it's physique, whether it's in placing, I'm happy. You know what I mean? Just trying to progress forward every single year. I mean, because that's the goal. That should be the goal for anybody who competes in bodybuilding, step on stage and be the best you've ever been,
Yeah.
Well, not the best you ever been, but more improved than your last.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. It's weird because in bodybuilding, it's the only sport that I've been in where nothing I do will affect the outcome technically. Once we get on stage, you know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Right.
you can pose, but I can't guard this guy and stop him from scoring. I can't go by this guy and go get a bucket. I can't tackle this guy and stop him from getting a touchdown. It's literally, I'm bringing my best, and if it's that day, it's good enough. If not, it might be a dude better than me.
You see, exactly. Because I actually had this conversation with a friend of mine recently who just did USAs. And, I was basically telling him, I was like, I was telling somebody who didn't understand bodybuilding, because she was basically asking me, why do you do what you do as far as like dieting and stuff? Because it sucks. I'm like, yeah, you're right. It does suck. But, at the end of the day, like this is like the most psychological thing you could possibly do on the planet because at the end of the day, you might have a person who could put in 150% of effort into every single thing, do every single thing right, can cross all the T's, dot all the I's, do everything right. But you're not guaranteed a successful outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do all that. You can either step on stage and win, or God forbid you step on stage and psychological thing that's out there because you can do all that with no guarantee of a successful outcome, right?
Most
But you
definitely.
being able to do that on a consistent basis, you know, that's ultimately going to make you a successful athlete, regardless.
Right.
In my opinion.
I think that's
You know?
life. That's life too, bro. Like that. It's just
Yeah.
you got to realize sometimes that person just might have it. Like you know what I'm saying? Like basketball, I could outwork LeBron James for the rest of my life. I'm not 6'8", I'm not 250. I can't do what that man does no matter what. That's just life. And that this sport puts it more directly in your face to be seen sometimes. Yeah. So hey man, I don't want to hold you up too much longer. It's been a good convo. These connection issues gonna be the death of me. But is there anything else you want to say before we end it?
No. We're all good, man. We're all good.
For sure,
Obviously,
man.
Shout out to Gaspari. Huh?
No, I said for sure. I'm listening. I said for sure, man.
Okay, but shout out to Gaspari. Shout out to Omar Ventura. My coach, Omar Ventura. That's really it, really.
And for all those listening or watching, Gaspari products are great products. I actually have used them. I'm a big fan of the GlycoFuse. Like I live and die by that intra workout. There is a discount code. I'll put that in the description for y'all to check out. The pre-workout's really good too. And I'm a big fan of the hyper aminos when I used to drink those during cardio. Good taste. And if you mix, y'all check this out. It's a gem. If you can find a good lemon lime amino and you throw it in there with that strawberry glycofuse, it's candy. It's Starburst. Like it's fire. I'm telling you, you'll love it. So for all those listening, again, thank you for listening. Thank you for hearing my voice. Thank you for hearing Javion.
And thank you for having me, by the way.
Always, man. We're gonna do this again too. This ain't the end, bro. We're gonna keep doing this. For all those watching, again, you had the pleasure of seeing my beautiful face, so I know you're happy. I hope you guys tune in again. Again, this is Julian with Vitality Podcast. Love y'all. What's going on, everybody? This is Julian with Vitality Podcast. I hope you're having an amazing day. I hope you're having a blessed day. As y'all can hear my voice, I'm extremely excited, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, moving to Arizona has been amazing. I've been able to meet some fantastic people already, been able to interview some, got some more on the way, so be looking out for that. One of the people that I will be interviewing very soon is Hunter Rose, my boy Hunter Rose, the owner of Baked and Bougie Cookies out here in Surprise, Arizona. Now, I know y'all are real big fans of the My Cookie Dealer, and I feel that they're doing their thing, but I'm going to keep it real. Baked and Bougie is on another level. So here's the announcement, okay? Baked and Bougie and Vitality Podcast will be partnering together. There will be a discount code available for you to use to get a discount off on those delicious cookies. I'm talking about Captain Crunch, Rocky Roll, S'mores, peanut butter, Reese's peanut butter, whatever you want, you'll get. Each cookie has 12 grams of protein in it as well. I'm telling you, they taste great. They look great. They are half-pound big. I wish I had one right now. I would eat it, but my coach is probably watching, so I won't do that. But as y'all can see, this is a great opportunity. I want you guys to support myself. I want you guys to support Hunter and order as many cookies as you can. Look at me. As many as you can. 30. All right? Love y'all. Have a good one.